I had to stop pointing the finger. All those fingers pointing at the other person was not getting me anywhere.
If you get in my way, I'm going to run you over.
I had to not only lift myself up, but also give myself the hard truth.
20 years ago, we wasn't even talking about vision and purpose. Right. We was just like, oh, he cute, oh, he got money, oh, he drive a nice car.
Right.
Those things are not important because we got our own money, right?
Welcome back to another episode of BET Talks. I'm your host, Miabelle, and today's guest is recording artist, actress, and reality star who's been open about her love through the music and on our TV screens, accompanied by host and relationship expert and ready to talk love, family, and values is Sidora and Nicole Scott. Welcome, ladies.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. How are you feeling?
Amazing.
Good, yeah, feeling really good.
Okay, we're gonna turn it up
Despite the cold.
Right.
The cold here is different than it is in Atlanta.
We're gonna turn it up, heat you up with the game. Is that cool?
Okay.
All right, now this is called red flag, green light. I give you a scenario, you tell me what it is and why.
Okay.
You ready for it?
All right.
Yes.
Okay, they say all the right things, but their actions don't match. Red flag.
Red flag, the inconsistency. Yeah, you need to check that by date number 2.
Okay.
And go ahead and cut it.
Big red flag.
Big red flag.
They support your career, but get uncomfortable when you start winning.
Red flag.
Red flag.
Red flag. Yeah.
I can't be like
Cheating.
that.
Yeah.
You
Have
gotta
we
be
dealt with that personally?
Absolutely.
Actually, I have.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Right. Now, they want privacy in the relationship, but transparency from you.
Oh, green light.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Privacy is good. You didn't say secrecy, you said privacy.
Privacy,
It's different.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, green light.
But transparency from the partner.
Oh, but they want privacy in their own, like,
In the relationship, but transparency from the partner.
are they withholding information from me or they just want to be private about our relationship?
Private about the relationship.
Okay, I get with the privacy.
Yeah?
But transparency, absolutely, because that's the only way we can build. is to be
Right.
transparent.
And transparency from both.
Yes.
Yes.
From both, absolutely.
Green light.
Green.
Green light.
Super green light.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Green.
Yeah.
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 Through Real Housewives of Atlanta, of course, we've seen your relationship in all ways. And now, what chapter would you say you're entering?
Transitioning. Transitioning. Things are not over, because we have beautiful kids, right? So we're transitioning into what we once were and now what we're creating, which are just great co-parents for our kids.
Yeah.
And being able to hopefully get along.
Of course.
In this next chapter.
Yeah, that's important. How would you say you're protecting your energy during this time while still being open to love and, of course, co-parenting and making sure your family's good?
I am working a lot, and I think we were talking about this earlier, getting back to myself.
Right.
Being more gentle with myself, learning more about myself, being introspective, taking ownership of some things, which is very, very hard to do, and working on those things, but really just getting back to me and my independence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important. Now, Chanel, with your expertise, what would you say are some patterns that you see come up a lot right now through your work?
I would say the inconsistency. People, when they meet you, it's this honeymoon stage.
Right.
And then things become common, and then you're like, wow, they didn't call me back, or they didn't text me back, or they text me back the next day. So that's very common in terms of getting to know a person. And that is something that you need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how would you say your perspective on love has evolved as a woman and not just as an expert?
Taking accountability.
Yeah.
A lot of times we want to blame the man, but we have to look at our own behavior and patterns and take accountability for our part. I know I'm guilty or was guilty of overstaying my welcome. Like the moment you see that flag, you need to exit stage left. You don't stick around and try to work it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
decide if this is something that you can either deal with, you okay with, or we on the same page with. And if you are not, then you leave the situation alone.
What about you, Drew?
That's real good.
How would you say you've evolved as a woman, especially now?
Well, I think that part, I definitely gave my marriage time and time again. So understanding when it's your time to leave,
Yes.
what your tolerance level is. I think sometimes what I learned, I completely lost my voice.
Yeah.
Wanting to be submissive and make it work. You try to make it work to a fault almost. To where you wake up one day and you're like, wait, I had hopes and dreams. I want to inspire. I want to live in my purpose.
Yeah.
And you kind of let that go for the sake of the relationship. So I had to wake up and learn like that's never something I'm willing to do again. And really creating boundaries for myself. You know what I mean? I wanted boundaries in the relationship, but I didn't create what boundaries look like for me.
Yeah.
What I'm willing to accept and not. So I really had to really get closer to me and get to know me more. I thought I knew who I was, and I was like, I'm a queen, but I was like, no, maybe I'm a princess. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And do the work to get to that status so that you can walk in power and not go through the same thing. I said in my song, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. I did things a lot of times over and over, and finally it was like, this is my fault at this point.
Yeah.
So,
And it clicked.
and it clicked.
In your own timing.
Yeah.
Now, Drew, as you get back to yourself, what do you think the public is still misunderstanding about the way that you're healing through love?
I am misunderstood. Okay. I'm a Taurus.
Yes.
And a lot of times, okay, so you know, we will walk around with a good poker face, and really it's not fake, it's authentic, because we like to look at life with, you know, the idea that the cup is half full, right? Not half empty. So I really embrace all the beautiful things of life. I really am happy and grateful. But then I suppress that hurt and I deal with it by myself behind closed doors.
Right.
So people will think, oh, she's good, you know, and that saying of like, check on your strong friends, that is me. I can admit that it's been very, very difficult, and doing it in the public adds another layer of challenge. So I am just taking it one day at a time, and I can tell you I have a great counselor, and there's nothing wrong with therapy. And I think that for me, it was really, again, taking that accountability and saying, this is what I need to work on, this is what I made a mistake on, and I take ownership of that part and do the work. Yeah.
I love that. Now, I have a question for you, Chanel. A lot of times people talk about knowing your worth, but struggle to actually live it. Where would you say that comes from?
That's because they don't know who they are. They don't know their purpose. They don't know their own God-given identity. Before you even consider being in a relationship, you need to know what your purpose is. That way, when you connect with someone and it doesn't work out or you get disappointed, you don't lose yourself, because you know who I am. So if it doesn't work out here, then I'll meet someone else. It's only when you try to live your life vicariously through someone else because you see them as more valuable than you. And that's absurd, because that is a lot of times when people don't leave situations, they see that person as more valuable, or they add more value than you do yourself. And then they stay. Before you even be in a relationship, you should know what your God-given purpose is.
How would you say, Drew, your divorce has shaped the way that you redefine love now?
Not there yet.
Right,
I won't
still
say I've arrived. She's driving down the street, though, to a new place.
But not just romantically either, personally too.
Going through something like this, it's like you create benchmarks for yourself.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm married, we have this beautiful family. Now we're going into the building stage. So when all of that is stripped away, it's like you're starting over again. And so I think it was just recreating what I want my life to look like by myself, regardless if I'm in a relationship or not, just getting back on track with my purpose. And it's been amazing and beautiful, and that's been my healing. Putting out an album, finding things that you love and you're passionate about. God gave me this gift, girl, use it, you know? And not only did it help me, it helped and inspired other people too. So there's a reward that's greater than self in that.
Most times people don't have a vision for how they want their relationship to look, to be, right? Most times people go in with a preconceived notion, or they're thinking about what that other person can do for them, rather than you getting a vision of how you want it to look. For me, I have a vision of how I want someone to approach me, how I want someone to engage me. So as soon as it doesn't align, then it's done. We're not gonna waste any more time here, because we're not even starting off right. So have a vision for what you want that to look like. From the time he stepped to you, there's a way that I want that to look.
Tell me how it's supposed to look.
It should be consistency, right? Do what you say you're gonna do. Have integrity, right? If you say you're gonna call me at 9 o'clock, call me at 9 o'clock.
9:05.
Don't call me tomorrow.
Right.
Because that's a problem. That's gonna be a problem later on. So set the precedence at the very beginning. And then that way you don't waste your time. We all want to be loved differently. We all have different love languages, right? So there's some things that's important to you that may not be important to me. So those things we learn by getting to know each other. But I'm talking about the basics. 20 years ago, we wasn't even talking about vision and purpose. We was just like, oh, he cute, oh, he got money, oh, he drive a nice car. Those things are not important important because we got our own money, right?
Now.
So you got to show it with integrity. You got to have some character. Otherwise, it's not going to work out.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to boundaries, what would you say are non-negotiables when you're building a career and your relationship?
I cannot have someone try to discourage me from doing what I've been called to do. Like, I know when I started my platform, CheMinistry, this was 10 years ago, I had a guy say, ever since you did that, all you like to do is talk about relationships, but this is my purpose. And if you can't accept that, then we're not a good fit. Because if you get in my way, I'm going to run you over. So it's best that you get in your purpose, I'm in my purpose, and then we come together. So you got to set boundaries for yourself and take that time. Don't let someone pressure you. Let me come over. No, I need to get to know you. You don't need to come to my house.
Definitely don't.
This is my sacred space, right? Let me determine if you're someone who I want to continue along this path with. And that takes time.
What about you, Drew? Any non-negotiables?
Well, I have kids, they're small children. So my boundaries look like you're not going to meet my children, or if we are in a relationship, there's boundaries in that area where it's like, you can't come in disciplining my kids or speaking on what they do or what they don't do or how they should be. I think that that's really, for me, what I have to be mindful of and place those boundaries in my next situation because, I have my babies to protect. So,
yeah. How has things been with your babies, of course, and this new era that you're walking into and separation at that, you're co-parenting? What are things like for you now?
It's bittersweet, but there's like a beautiful rainbow I see on the horizon because as I'm tapping into my purpose and getting back to me, I am pouring that into my children as well. So now putting them in position to win. My daughter just did a movie with me recently.
Wow.
And I was like, come on, girl. She showed up and she was professional. This is something she's been asking to do. So now I'm able to make space and time to put them in a position to do the things they love and be right there supporting them and showing up. So everyone is just really blossoming into their purpose. So it's kind of like what I'm doing, I am exempling for them.
Now, in this new age of dating and relationships, AI is starting to take a place in it. People are using it to finish their conversations, to text. Now, would you say that it's a positive thing or they're avoiding emotional work?
So you can start off that way, but we're going to talk on this phone. We're going to have some FaceTime. We're going to go back to the traditional way of dating and getting to know each other. If you buy into that, then that's your fault. But in order to really get to know that person, you're going to have some FaceTime.
Yeah. Now, how has the ladies in your life, your friendships, been building you up through this time?
Oh my gosh. Without them, where would I be?
That girl talk,
Here we are. Someone that picked up the phone and said, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
This is about purpose and let's have a conversation. My girlfriends will jump on a flight and show up for me, whether it's, I got your kids, I'm gonna cook you a meal.
Yeah.
We're just gonna talk. Those little things, and I call them my village, have been so important during this time for me, just showing up for me, pushing me through on days that I felt like I couldn't get out the bed, because it did come to that sometimes. And just having people that are holding you accountable to say, I'm over here waiting for you, so I need you to get on up. I need you to make your way down here, because we're sitting here for as long as it takes you to get here. And that was, the most beautiful part of sisterhood. So I'm grateful for them.
Yeah. And you're getting ready to have this conversation live with Kicks and Conversations. And you guys are going to be talking all of the things: love, relationships, values, purpose, which is really important. Now, with Kicks and Conversations, what made you want to do this live as opposed to a podcast or just an on-camera experience that's pre-recorded?
Kicks and Conversations is actually my 10-year anniversary for CheMinistry.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes, that's my 10-year anniversary. Yeah, I've been doing CheMinistry, and CheMinistry is actually a live event and a television show.
Okay.
So it's been featured on Fox Soul, it's been featured on In the Black Network, but this is more of a celebration. We are gonna have the conversation. I have a new card game coming out on attachment styles. Why do we react to love the way that we do? And so I just wanted to take the time and invite because I work with just about everybody in Atlanta. I wanted to take the time to invite everybody out and we have a good time, but we can't do it without having a conversation, because that's the core of what CheMinistry is. Yeah, and then I'm a sneakerhead. A lot of people don't know that, because when I'm not doing what I do, I'm in sneakers, a onesie, off the grid. But my team always say, Chanel, people don't know your voice, because I'm always the one asking the questions. And I might share some, but not a lot. But this year, I'm gonna start sharing more of my voice, sharing more of who Chanel is, and not just kind of hiding behind this suit like I typically do.
Of course. Now, Drew, what is something that you want single people and couples to leave from the conversation that you are gonna have with Chanel?
Oh my goodness. As singles, we dream of being married.
That's true.
And then when we're married, it's like, okay, this is more than a notion. So I think having the conversation about being single, the good, the exciting parts, and if you want and desire to be in a relationship and marriage, the hard truth about what that looks like, the preparation you can do as a single person to prepare yourself for that relationship, for that mate, for that marriage.
Right.
And then for those that are married, talking about how hard it is and the things that we could do better and the things that we may have learned, and encouraging people to stay married. I think now everyone is so quick to give up on relationships and just say, oh, divorce. You look on social media every other day and everyone is divorcing. And me sitting in that seat, I can say, from my view, it's like, I didn't want to give up on my marriage. I didn't get married to get divorced. But what that looks like and what I could have done differently to really keep that marriage intact. And then if you find yourself in this position, how you can pick up the pieces and move forward.
Yeah.
So it's so much to talk about, from every point of view.
How do you know when it's time to walk away from a marriage after, building so much, creating a family? How do you know whether or not you should leave or try to work it out?
I woke up every day choosing my husband, and I thought that's what marriage was. And I think what ends it is when the other person does not do the same.
Right, when they're not choosing you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's simple.
Now, Chanel, from a single woman's perspective, how do you date with intention without shrinking or performing?
One of the reasons why I even started doing CheMinistry is because I really wanted to be in a relationship. I wanted to be married, but now that I've grown and I've evolved, I've done some self-reflection, and that desire is just not like it used to be. Not that I don't want to get married, but if it means I got to deal with all the things that come along with what I've experienced in the past, then I'm good.
Yeah.
But if he's done the work and he's in purpose, and we're on the same page and we align, then I'm open to it.
Did the work and live in purpose. Yes.
Purpose seems to be the center.
It is.
You know why?
Of the conversation.
I have experienced a tremendous amount of rejection in my life. I'm a little bit older. I won't say how old. And when it's all said and done, the reason is because I didn't know who I was.
Right.
I was living vicariously through these men. When I was young in my 20s, I used to date athletes. And if you've ever been in that space, you know what that's like. You're competing and comparing, and it was horrible. But it was because I didn't know who Chanel was. I didn't know what my likes were, my dislikes. I didn't know anything about myself. Now I'm in tune with that. So it's like, okay, no, I don't like that. And I even think about, do I even want to share my space? Do I want someone in my house?
That
do I
part.
want somebody in my house? I don't know,
That
So
part,
these are things that I think about, like, oh my God, can we be married and you live in your house and I live in my house? I like my house to be nice. You like your house to be nice? So those are the things that I think about now that I never thought that I would ever even consider. I just wanted to be married. But I didn't even understand what marriage was. I had no idea. So.
Of course. Now, what light are you finding in the space that you're in right now, Drew? As a single woman.
Listen, just what you said, I love my space, okay? I have my space heater. I have everything like I like it. I've got my candle. And so, yes, when you share space with someone, there's compromise. You got to let go of some things. And now that I can create the energy in the space that I love and I thrive in, it's like, how am I going to go back to that? I have those same thoughts like, maybe, you can have a marriage where he's over there. Now what I've learned is to really keep your independence. And I don't want to let that go.
You guys have been dropping the gems. If someone is watching this while questioning their value in love, what's the truth you want them to hear today and through kicks and conversations?
Do you love yourself? Because you cannot love anyone else until you learn how to love yourself.
Yes.
Now, if you've been in and out of situations and you've had your heart broke several different times, and if you couldn't recognize those red flags, then you got to do some self-work before you even consider being with someone else, because it's going to be a repeated pattern and you're going to continue to go through it until you learn the lesson. And I don't care if it's 20, 30 years later, you're going to repeat it. I'm so serious, y'all, or else you're going to be in a situation where it's dysfunctional and toxic. It's still not going to be right. You just can say you were with someone, but it's still not going to be healthy. A lot of times women connect with men mainly because they have wrong motives. Oh, he got money. Oh, he got this. But you don't even like him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you get into the situation and you go through all of these things, but that's because you had the wrong motive.
Drew, what is your truth to anyone who is questioning their value in love?
The hard truth. This is what I had to go through, and it was hard. I had to stop pointing the finger, right? And saying, well, you did this to me, and how could you do this to me, and you hurt me, and all those fingers pointing at the other person was not getting me anywhere. So I had to really look in the mirror and say, ooh, this is what I did. Ooh, this is what I accepted that I shouldn't have. This is what I did that I shouldn't have done. And I had to begin to reflect on those things. So it mirrors exactly what you said, getting back to me learning myself. Because all my friends were like, girl, you a queen. Oh, you a queen. You don't deserve that. And it's like, no, probably some of it I did, participate and bring on myself.
You know what? Give yourself some grace because it's so hard to take accountability when they don't. Like when I've been in conversations and they won't even acknowledge like my part, then I can't acknowledge you either. I might know I'm wrong. It's so hard to be like, okay, I can't even hear you anymore.
Listen, that's my life. You are speaking my life, literally. Because they will not take any accountability. And everything is my fault. Let's just say we're both at 50% and I'm trying to get to 100.
Yeah.
If I work on me and focus on me, I'm gonna get to 60% and you're gonna still be at 50. And what happens when my 60 turns to 70 and my 70 turns to 80? Now I'm looking at you like, well, what do I need you for? Like, you can't any longer serve me or help me.
Absolutely.
So I had to not only lift myself up, but also give myself the hard truth. And that meant the good and the bad and the ugly. All of it, I had to be real with myself. Ooh, it's hard.
It's very hard.
It's very hard because I think I'm perfect. I think I'm great. Right?
Yes.
But no, I wasn't.
Needs work.
Yes,
we all do.
Just a little tweaking.
Yeah.
We all do.
But it's so much easier when both people take accountability.
Ooh, isn't it?
It's so much easier.
Oh, I can't wait.
Right. In the perfect world.
In the perfect world. Yes.
Ladies, you are both evolving in the spirit of love, and we love the conversation that we had with you today. Thank you so much for sharing your time on BET Talks, and we can't wait to see you on Kicks and Conversation.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.